Hey folks, we are going to continue martial powers on Tuesday. I'm back from vacation. I had a great time away, but I'm really happy to be back. So give me a second here to check my signal, make sure everything's coming through clear, and then we'll get into this for a couple hours. Hold on.
Check.
And then we'll get into this for a couple hours. Hold on. Sounds pretty solid to me. Okay, cool. Let's see. Let me get into my intro spiel here, and then we'll dive into this. So, clip clop. Introduction. Hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing game supplements that, as PDFs I publish online. I've been focusing my attention on 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons as of recently. In the description down below, there is a slew of links to different books that I've already created previously. So you can check out that stuff. There's probably about 150 some odd illustrations between those books, and there's a huge chunk of content that you can read for free in there for you to be able to pick up on what's going on. If you like the work, or if you like my art, or if you just want to see the channel succeed, consider making a purchase for anything that you find relevant or cool. Beyond that, let's see, beep, 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 beep. Bam. Beyond that, you can follow me on Twitter at Phil Kearney. I always publish when I am going live online at Twitter. And otherwise, support the channel. You can like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and help push the channel and grow. So we are going to, if you aren't familiar with the Martial Powers Project, this is our 65th episode. So you can check the playlists to see what we've done in the past. And be welcome to catch up with us as you can. So we've been building out the, let's click over here and pull this down here and here. And then in the description down below, there's also a link to my Patreon. All this content that we're looking at here is available in my Patreon in the About section, and in updates, there's a link to this Google Doc. It is a read-only document, but you can read the entire thing with me. It's 45 pages of fun so far. Everything for Barbarians, Fighters, Monks, Paladins, Rangers, Rogues, as well as Artificers and Warlocks to be able to use this martial power system. It is all available for you there, level 1 to 20. We've already rebuilt the subclasses for the Monk, Paladin, and Ranger. Right now we're working on our Barbarian. Specifically, we'll work on the Totem Warrior today, which is a multiple choice option class. So it's going to take a little bit longer for us to build through that. And then if we have time, we'll roll the dice and roll up something random for the either the Fire or the Rogue. So we're slowly digging our way through all these things. As you can see here, the Barbarian options, if you want to get caught up on what these things do and all the classes stuff, then you can check out the last stream that we ran last week. Otherwise, we're going to dive into this. So we've already done the Ancestral Guardian, the Battle Rager. What we're doing here is we're following the format that you often see for other subclasses. Like if we go into, say, Wizard's a great example. Go into any of the different schools of the Wizard. Maybe that's not a good choice. Let's go to back to the top, like Cleric. Cleric should be a good one. So if you go to here, you'll see that there are domain spells that you automatically get. Typically you get 2, sometimes more, 1, 2, or maybe 3 spells that are automatically prepared and that your character knows at these different levels, and the spells that you get. Similarly, we're following that same design principle with the Barbarian, Path of the Totem Warrior here. Like when we did Ancestral Guardian, we built out a power list that you gain at different levels, as well as modifying the class features for the subclass if they are altered from the original class features in the published content. If we need to make modifications for them to work with the power system that we're offering here, then we make those modifications for you. So absolutely everything that Wizards has published to date, using 5e is going to be in this book for us to represent, and that you can use as a guideline for your own classes, their own subclasses. You can build your own kits in the future as well. Battle Rager, Ancestral Guardian, Path of the Beast, Path of the Berserkers, what we did last week. And we did, Storm Herald as well. And now we're getting into the Totem Warrior. So we've already prepped it. We have our power list here ready to receive powers. The way that this thing works is that all these classes gain progression as a half-casting class, similar to the Paladin and the Ranger. Basically, if you're playing Paladin or Ranger, the bare minimum using this would be to allow a Paladin or Ranger to select powers instead of spells when they're preparing or learning their spell list for the day. And as you'll witness in the past 17,000 episodes of this, the 60 some odd episodes that we've done this, that once we get through all the subclass revisions, we actually, all the subclass revisions, all of them, click. We should probably actually add power kits to the Monster Slayer, Gloomstalker. It'd be fun to add power kits to the Ranger. I think I'll do that. Because Ranger typically doesn't have known power lists. So, variant spellcasters, let's get down out of this. And then after we get through all the classes and subclass options, then we go into the Knights and Tricksters channeling. Basically, they can pick up powers instead of spells, but otherwise gain their full list of stuff that they gain as an archetype. The Warlock variants, basically you can, instead of, when you're learning invocations, you could choose to learn a single power as an invocation that you could then spend your Warlock points on. And of course, if you're following along with us down here, you can show the list here, going down here to, if we go to the 5 color mana spell point variant list that we have here, and then we go to spell point Warlocks, and then if you want, it's a pay what you want. It's almost gold, actually. So if anyone hasn't picked it up yet, please do me a favor and spend at least 50 cents on it so I can rack up another number. I'm trying to hit gold before we go to 1D&D. But just checking this out, you can look through all of this. It has 2 formats. It has spell point mechanics using the DMG's absurd spell point system, but we make it work anyway. But if you want to skip past that, there is the universal spell point and high magic system that we use for our color mana, as well as the martial power system here. So you can see USB spell point costs. It's 1 point for first level, 5 points for 5, 9 for 9, 10 for 10 if you're using 10th level spell slots, which is an option that we provide for you. But you can see here that we have a scaling system that basically, it just basically ramps pack mana from 1 to 20. Identical to the monk. So that's the general format that we have for that. You can check that book at your leisure. It's pretty cool. It is a soft introduction to color mana. This will basically use the same color mana system as a Warlock uses, so that's a good precursor for you to look at if you want to use. Like, say, if you want to play a, like if you're playing Ravnica and you want to have a Barbarian, a Gruul Barbarian, right? Barbarians don't have spells, so how would you represent a Gruul Barbarian with red and green mana but doesn't have any spells? Well, using martial powers, you can take the martial mana that the Barbarian gets, and you can assign red and green color mana to the power points that to the martial points or fury that the Barbarian would use, and then you can say make your strikes and reactions be red mana because of impulse and rage, while the exploits, sustained powers, and maneuvers could be green, for instance. So you would divide up between the 5 disciplines of power between one and other color. So if your Barbarian only wants reactions and strikes, then you would only need red mana. So when you wake up after you finish your long rest, you set of your however much mana you have, you decide which color each mana is assigned to. If instead you wanted to, for instance, let's go back into this here real quick, and we can look at, say, the elemental key. Tap and tap burn, elemental key. Full size preview here. If you wanted to instead go with an element, say air, earth, fire, and water, right? This is formatted for a half-casting monk, but again, the Barbarian could do it just as easily. If you wanted to, say, have a fire and earth Barbarian, you could make reactions and strikes be fire-based, while the sustained, exploit, and maneuvers are earth-based. So when you wake up after a long rest, you finish a long rest, and you go into the system, you can assign however much of your mana to be fire mana and however much of it you want to be earth mana. So if all you know are reactions and strikes as a Barbarian, then all you would need is fire mana. So you would be, all of your stuff would be fire based, and then you would gain fire damage for free as part of the flavoring that you're doing for your character. If you're using an elemental campaign where any character can have air, earth, fire, and water, or any blend of them, like the last Airbender Avatar series, which is freaking awesome. If you haven't seen it, you totally should. But there, all the magic, all the PCs and significant characters are benders. Typically, you can only bend one element, so you could dedicate your character to that element. But if you have a free elemental campaign where anyone can have any mix of elements to express how they're dealing, then you can divide up your pools of mana into different elements. And when you can have a devoted element, like your primary element, and then you can automatically do damage using that element. And then further down in the book, as we go into the actual power lists, the lists themselves are generic power, not just assuming generic key, for instance. But if you want to, you could assign elements or color mana as a feature of your mana pool. And so, like, earth has acid and force damage, fire has fire and radiant damage, water has cold and psychic damage, air has lightning and thunder damage. So if you're assigning yourself, like if you're making air your primary element, like maybe you want to play an air ranger of the swarm or something, you have like a bunch of bees that fly you around while you're flicking arrows at people. When you're flicking arrows at people, you can convert them into lightning bolts. So as you're raining down arrows on people, you're hitting with little jabs of lightning, for instance. Or you could have thunder damage if you wanted. Like you can, if you take the elemental route, you get the basic element for free, and then later you can purchase as one of your powers. You can just purchase that. I can just deal thunder damage, or if I'm an earthbender, I could just deal force damage with my weapons when I hit. So you're paying to gain that power, as it were. So that's a fold-in. But if you're just using generic key, and you don't want to mess with elemental mana, but you still want to say, yeah, I'm an airbender, then you could purchase lightning or thunder damage. So, and you can either use a feat to purchase these things or one of the powers that you gain. And up here, you can see that you gain up to known powers, up to 16 powers at 20th level. Every time you gain a level, you can swap out all of the powers that you know. So you can completely rebuild your kit every time you gain a new level of power, or a new level of power of confidence. Some Pantera. Sorry, new level of confidence and power is the actual Pantera quote. If you don't know Pantera, check out Vulgar Display of Power right now, because it is freaking awesome. But every time you gain a new rank of power, you can switch out. You have access to second rank powers now, so you can add in as many as you want and dump off any of the old ones. And I've talked about this a lot. At very low levels, you barely have any mana at all. So you could, instead of learning powers that cost mana, you can instead use all of your known powers to learn additional feats. And obviously when 1D&D comes out, we'll see what they decide to do with feats. And if they have ranked feats, then we would just put a rank cap on them. You have to be 4th rank to gain a feat. Then so too, you would have to meet the prerequisites of this to be 4th level. Once you gain 4th level, you can start adding those feats in as well. But having feats is an easy way for us to be able to grant powers that don't cost any mana, so you don't run out of them. That Air Ranger that we're talking about, for instance, could pick up Sharpshooter as a power at 1st level, instead of having to spend a feat on it. So you can kit out your character to get as many feats as you need to be able to execute the martial power, the martial build that you want, and use your actual feats at 4, 8, 12, yada. Use those to actually gain ability score bonuses, so your character can hit the numbers that you're supposed to have, while also having access to feats and, of course, actual powers that cost mana. Each rank of power costs 1 mana to use. So obviously, like at 1st level, a Barbarian only has 1 mana. So he's going to be able to do 1 strike and he's done. But if you use, and we've talked about this numerous times in the past as well, if you pick up a sustained power, you could lock that power so you can't use any other mana while it's locked, but you don't have to concentrate on it. It has to either be dispelled or you have to go unconscious, become incapacitated to lose that sustained power and burn the mana that's sustaining it. And as you gain levels, you can sustain more and more powers simultaneously, up to 5 at 17th level, and that just cuts off more and more mana from you. If you have all 5 ranks filled with locked sustained powers, you can perpetuate those powers. They basically become feats for you. They're locked in permanently until someone gets rid of them, or you become incapacitated or begin a long rest with the intent of becoming incapacitated. And so at low levels, you either gain feats, damage type if you want it, or you can pick up a sustained power and just immediately lock it whenever you wake up in the morning. Trigger your blind sense, for instance, and then lock it. Now you have blind sense for the entire day until something takes it away from you. And at first level, obviously it's a stinker because you can't get it back. But at first level, you're probably not going to be running across a lot of crap that's going to dispel you, for instance. It'd be a weird circumstance to have that. By 5th level, you should expect that kind of stuff. But at 5th level, you have 2 ranks of power, and if you locked both of those, you'd still have 3 mana left over that you would not be able to use because you've locked all of your channels. So that means you have enough mana laying in wait that if your powers get dispelled, or if you're incapacitated at some point during the adventure, when you pop back up, you can start triggering those abilities and locking them back down so you can refresh your pool. And again, at 20th level, you can have at most 20 mana, 5 ranks of power that you could lock. You could literally be incapacitated or dispelled 4 times during the course of the day and be able to pick all those things back up again. So 3 times. You could be dispelled or incapacitated 3 times a day and still be able to regain all 5 ranks of sustained power to rebuild your character's kit. So you could theoretically have at 20th level with 16 powers, you could know only you could learn 4 sustained powers, lock them all, and then have 12 feats open for you to learn all sorts of cool feat stuff. Once 1D&D comes out and they start doing weapon proficiency things, we'll be able to add the weapon masteries as basically power cantrips that you'd be able to use with any weapon for free because you've spent one of your known powers to be able to lock in, like the push thing or the vex thing, whatever it is that they end up doing. There's like 9 of them. Well, we'll be able to add those to our feat list. But instead of being feats, they'll be masteries, weapon masteries. So we can then have a list of weapon masteries that if you like one, if you're using a short sword and you like the push feature, if you learn the push weapon mastery, barehanded, doesn't matter what you're doing. As long as you're making ranged weapons, it doesn't matter. As long as you're making an attack roll with some sort of a weapon, something, then you'll be able to click in the push feature because that's something that's your power, basically. So that's how the system works. That's a super quick crash course. If you want less rambling and more straightforward information, again, you can go down into the description here. Hey, Hernetico, go down into the description here, and it has player test at Patreon. Oh, damn it! I need to update that HTTP thing. I've done that on everything else but this one. But yeah, patreon.com/Phil Kearney. Again, it's free for you to look at. It's a read-only document. It's playtest. It's not the final format. It's none of the wording that you should expect in the final product. But once it goes live on the DMsGuild, you'll be able to read through the whole thing like everything else that I do. So right now, back to the quest at hand. What are we doing today? Like I was saying, we are going to convert the path of the Totem Warrior for our Barbarian, build a power kit out of it, see what we need to change about the different features, and once that's done, we'll throw the die and see what we maybe we'll build out another one of the rogue or the fighters that haven't been kitted yet. Once we get done with all of those, we'll go down into the ranger and we'll add power kits. We'll add known powers to the ranger as well, so that it has its list of 10 powers also. And the paladin. Screw you, Paladin. You already have too much power. It already has a spell list, so you already know spells from the Paladin list, but these would be substitutes that you could drop into. for leaning into martial power. So without further ado, we are going to follow our normal process, which is open up a notepad. We'll go into D&D Beyond. We'll fetch the features, copy, and then we'll extract them here to paste. And we're going to start picking at it. First thing we'll do is we will convert everything first thing we'll do is we'll convert the features. We'll see what the features give us, and that will show us where the holes in the system are that we can then patch with our known power list, so that no matter which features and options you choose, you'll automatically get the list of known powers added to it. So in essence, you'll have 26 powers, 10 that are automatically chosen because of the archetype that you want, and then the other 16 are free and open. And if we build this right, the power kit that we build for the known power list will lean into and complement the Totem Warrior ideals. So we'll see how successful that is. See if we build something super cool. And I should probably set a timer, because I should have set a timer like a while ago. Like, how far in are we already? Hey, we've been at it for exactly 20 minutes. So it's time for me to take a sip of water and hit. That's the sound my alarm makes. So I'm making that alarm sound. We're at 20 minutes on the timer. Let's get after it. It's warm in here today, dude. Oh my god, it's so muggy. I'm not used to mugginess in Seattle, but here it is. So, Path of the Totem Warrior. The Path of the Totem Warrior is a spiritual journey. Sure it is. As the Barbarian accepts a spirit animal as a guide, protector, and inspiration. In battle, your totem spirit fills you with supernatural might, adding magical fuel to your barbarian rage. In some Barbarians tribes, a totem animal is considered to be kin to a particular clan. In such case, it is unusual for an individual to have more than one totem animal spirit, though exceptions always exist to meet the power fantasy of your preference. Good water. Spirit Seeker. Beep, 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 burp. Let's go with Spirit Seeker. Third level, when you adopt this path, you gain the ability to cast the beast sense and speak with animal spells, but only as rituals as described in the spellcasting selection. Spirit Seeker, no changes. There's no reason to change that. It works as is. I sense fighting spirit. Totem Spirit. Let's grab Totem Spirit. Let's see. Third level, when you adopt this path, you choose a totem spirit and gain its features. You must make or acquire a physical totem object, an amulet or similar adornment, that incorporates fur or feathers, claws, teeth, or bones of the totem animal. At your option, you also gain minor physical attributes that are reminiscent of the totem spirit. For example, if you have a bear totem spirit, you might be unusually hairy and thick-skinned. Or if your totem is the eagle, your eyes turn bright yellow. Your totem animal might be an animal related to those listed here, but more appropriate to your homeland. For example, you could choose a hawk or a vulture in place of an eagle. Okay. Bear. While raging, you have resistance to all damage except psychic damage. The spirit of the bear makes you tough, enough to stand up to any punishment. No need to change that. Eagle. While you're raging, other creatures have disadvantage on opportunity attack rolls against you, and you can use the dash action as a bonus action on your turn. The spirit of the eagle makes you into a predator who can weave through the fray with ease. Elk. While you are raging and aren't wearing heavy armor, your walking speed increases by 15 feet. The spirit of the elk makes you extraordinarily swift. I like how they're using a description at the end of the power or the feature instead of at the beginning of it. It's just, I kind of like that as a general format. I think when I start doing my own thing, I may lean into, like when I start publishing off the guild and start just making up my own stuff, I may follow a format similar to that. It's just kind of like a side statement that summarizes why it is, you know? Tiger, while raging, you can add 10 feet to your long jump distance and 3 feet to your high jump distance. The spirit of the tiger empowers your leaps. See, like, that's super, it's obviously it empowers your leaps. You just increase your long jump. Okay, that is a little cheesy. While you're raging, your friends have advantage on melee attack rolls against any creature within 5 feet of you that is hostile to you. The spirit of the wolf makes you a leader of hunters. You know what? Honestly, no need to change that. No changes. All of those things are really freaking good. I love that the rage triggers. That's super good. I'm going to leave that here for now, though, because we may end up needing to come back and reference this stuff while we're building our kit of power. So, aspect of the beast. Let's check this out. Sixth level, you get a magical benefit based on the totem animal of your choice. You can choose the same animal. You select that 3rd level or a different one. So, bear. You gain the bite of a bear. Your carrying capacity, including maximum load and maximum lift, is doubled. And you have advantage on strength checks made to push, pull, lift, or break objects. That does not require any kind of rage. These will probably all be able to stick no changes as well. You gain the eyesight of an eagle. You can see up to 1 mile away with no difficulty. Hey, just in case anyone was wondering, and anyone that's been plugging into the Spelljammer's Combat and Exploration book that we've been developing and doing artwork for on stream for the past year in the mornings. Eagle vision, allowing you to see up to 1 mile away, is freaking fantastic if you are a siege commander in the game, because your siege crew can fire and hit things up to 1 mile away with this advantage. But this is going to allow you to get more precise in being actually able to see the faces of the crewmen on the ship that you're firing at 1 mile away. So that's actually really freaking nice to get rid of the disadvantage in that system. I just thought I'd point that out because it's super cool. You gain the eyesight of an eagle. You can see up to 1 mile away with no difficulty, able to discern even fine details as though looking at something no more than 100 feet away. Additionally, dim light doesn't impose disadvantage on your wisdom perception checks. I just want to say I'm really looking forward to, once that Spelljammer book publishes, building a set of powers specifically to use with your ship and to explain about upcasting. Hold on, I gotta adjust my seat. There we go. Switch my legs around. I like to sit Indian style, cross-legged, sorry. I like to sit cross-legged, and but my feet fall asleep occasionally, so I have to adjust my seat. But yeah, having a power system to mesh in with being a combat role in the Spelljammer supplement, super fun. Let's see, elk. Whether mounted or on foot, your travel pace is doubled, as is the travel pace of up to 10 companions while they're within 60 feet of you and you're not incapacitated. See Adventuring for the rules on travel pace. The elk spirit helps you roam far and fast. She's 60 feet of you and not incapacitated. Wow, that's sweet. Tiger, you gain proficiency in 2 skills from the following list: athletics, acrobatics, stealth, survival. The cat spirit hones your survival instincts. Right on. Let's see. This is something that will be worth keeping an eye on for when we start building that power kit set for, like, say, 5th level. Wolf, you gain the hunting sensibilities of a wolf. You can track other creatures while traveling at a fast pace, and you can move stealthily while traveling at a normal pace. See Adventuring for rules on travel pace. Okay, no changes here either. These are all totally legit things to be able to have for your character. Aspect of the beast, Spirit Walker. Just because I'm building a new system of resources and stuff for characters doesn't mean I have to change things if they work. Ideally, I don't need to change things. Ideally, they work, and I'm just adding and complementing what it is. So I think it's actually great news when we don't have to make changes to a feature, because this is going to be that much more of what you're used to already. Yeah, I like that. 10th level, you can cast the Commune with Nature spell, but only as a ritual. Okay, Spirit Walker, don't need to change that either. It's just you gain a ritual. This may very well be one of those no changes for the entire features list, but we'll see. While you gain a magical benefit based on the totem animal of your choice, you can choose the same animal you selected previously or a different one. Bear, while you're raging, any creature within 5 feet of you that's hostile to you has disadvantage on attack rolls against targets other than you or another character with this feature. It's basically a taunt feature. It's the best that Wizards provides for taunting, giving people disadvantage if they don't attack you. They can still do it, or they can still move 5 feet away from you. So it's not a strong taunt, but we've talked about that before. An enemy is immune to this effect if it can't see or hear you, or if it can't be frightened. But it's still great. While raging, you have a flying speed equal to your current walking speed. This benefit only works in short bursts. You fall if you end your turn in the air and nothing else is holding you aloft. And then Elk, while raging, you can use a bonus action during your move to pass through the space of a larger or smaller creature. That creature must succeed a strength saving throw or be knocked prone and take bludgeoning damage equal to D12 plus your strength modifier. I'm fine with that too. Tiger, while you're raging, you move at least 20 feet in a straight line towards a large or smaller target. Right before making a melee weapon attack against it, you can use a bonus action to make an additional melee weapon attack against it. I'm totally fine with that. Hey Tyler, man, good time to see you, my dude. Good. Right on, dude. Wolf, while you are raging, you can use a bonus action on your turn to knock a large or smaller creature prone when you hit it with a melee weapon. At 14th level, that's a little flimsy for the wolf, but I'm down with it. Okay, well, it turns out that we don't need to change anything. No changes. All those features are totally legit. So now we're going to build a kit. A lot of shit in there. Okay, so how we want to structure this. We don't want to take away from the individual totem choices that are inside of the class. So when we're building things, we don't want to take options that make the choices you're going to make later irrelevant. That's our guiding. That's our guide right now. That's all we have to worry about. So, okay. Keeping to the theme of how we do, we want to shy away from expensive stuff at low levels. So we want to lean into feats and sustained powers at 3rd level. And also in 5th level, lean into sustained and either like weapon damage type or additional feats, so that the amount of mana that you have at low level is irrelevant. By having feats, you don't have to spend mana at all. By taking sustained powers, if you lock them, you're not using your mana for anything else, and it becomes a permanent, basically it becomes a class feature until somebody can dispel it, or you become incapacitated, or start a long rest with intent to incapacitate yourself. So, and by the time we get to 9th level, we're going to have enough mana on the character that we can play with strikes, exploits, maneuvers, and reactions. We could potentially take reactions at 5th level, but if we can, leaning into sustained powers is the way to go. So let us thus take a look at, let's start off with sustained powers. 1st rank only, and only have 1 rank of power, so you can only sustain 1 at a time. So ideally we're going to take 1 power, we're going to take 1 sustained power, and we're going to pick up a feat. So let's see what we have. I mean, aquatic adaption actually sounds pretty smart because it allows you to lean into that like aquatic totem idea, which we don't necessarily have anything for right now. But it's a thought. Let's see. The elemental resistance we don't need to worry about because of the bear totem. Even if you don't take it, again, that goes with the ideals that if you want a bunch of elemental resistances, we aren't going to just give it to you for free because the bear has it. But again, you've got 16 powers you can learn over the course of your character's career. If you don't take bear totem, you can just pick it up on your own. It's easily gotten. Lycanthropy is actually looking pretty damn good because it allows you to adopt aesthetics of the creature and gain benefits from it. Heightened senses. You gain advantage on wisdom, perception, and investigation checks. Feral Might, you gain advantage on strength checks, which does kind of chew on the bear eventually getting specific advantage checks. Let's look at that again real quick. Meow 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 meow. There. Might of the bear, your carrying capacity doubles, though that's not contradicted yet. And you have advantage on strength checks made to push, pull, lift, or break objects, which we already gain, which we would gain from lycanthropy here. But this is at first level, and that's at 10th. 6th? 6th, right. So I'm kind of going to immediately contradict myself and go ahead and step on that. I think I'm okay with that. Natural weapons, you gain unarmed attacks that deal 1 power die plus your strength or dexterity modifier, slashing or piercing damage. So at first level, it's a D6. And then at 9th level, it becomes a D8. And then at 17th level, it becomes a D10. So this feature would allow us to have a decent a decent unarmed attack right off the cuff. Coincidentally, if I think Monk is probably going to end up having a D6 in one D&D. But the way that we have it structured is a monk that uses this power system can use their power die instead of their monk die, their martial arts die if they want. Martial arts die goes from D4 to D6 to D8 to D10 eventually, up here. But our system just goes D6, D8, D10. So the martial artist, the monk, gains benefit from this as well. So everyone's starting off with that base D6 there's only starting with a D6. Anyway, words. That's a really strong contender. But let's go down here and see if there's anything else that's attractive before we of all the sustained powers. We don't have a lot at first level, but of the sustained powers that exist, lycanthropy definitely makes the most sense. So winner, winner, chicken dinner. Lycanthropy. Sus one. Now let's go fetch a feat. Fetch a feat now. Deedle-deedle-dee. Fetch a feat. Let's go look for a feat to fetch. Alert, honestly, thematically, something that most people wouldn't want to take at all, is a pretty damn good choice for a totem animal type. But let's consider our options. Skilled, Slasher, Tavern Brawler, nope. Poisoner, nope. Revenant, Sharpshooter. None of these are automatic go-tos for me. Mobility is okay, but conditional. Dual Wielded, Dungeon Delver. Let's look at Dungeon Delver real quick. Just let's take a look at that. See what it do. Dungeon Delver. Demon the Dungeon Delver. Let's see. Alert to the hidden traps and secret doors found in many dungeons. You gain the following benefits. You have advantage. Let's zoom that in a little bit because I'm pretty blind. There we go. You have advantage on wisdom, perception, and intelligence investigation checks made to detect the presence of secret doors. You have advantage on saving throws made to avoid and resist traps. You have resistance to damage dealt by traps. And traveling that... God, resistance? Fucking A. As a feat? That's crazy. God, that's strong. But no one, as far as I know, no one like freaking takes it. Traveling at a fast pace doesn't impose a -5 disadvantage on passive wisdom perception score. That's a pretty good feat, but it's not. Boy, that's like a real like master thief. Like I would learn that for the thief kit on the rogue. That's probably. You know what? Let's do that. Assassin. Phantom. Scout. Let's do that next, huh? Let's do the thief next. I'm inspired. Dungeon Delver. When we finish the Barbarian, next thing on tap will be the Thief archetype. Because that just sounds freaking cool. Of course the Thief should have Dungeon Delver. That makes total sense. I love it. Freaking love it. Let's see. Alright, back on task. Stay tuned, folks. Thief coming up. Canthropy, and yeah, it sounds like, for lack of anything better, alert. Sounds like alert's the place to be. Hey, timely timers, keep it going. Alert. Fate. +5 on an initiative. Can't be surprised. Creatures don't gain advantage on attack rolls against you as a result of being unseen by you. Wow, that is a freaking... Yeah, that's perfect. Fate. Lycanthropy. All right, 5th level. We gain access to 2nd rank powers. 5th level, 2nd rank powers. We know up to 6 powers already. We'll have 5 mana. We can lock 2 of them. Let's see if there's any cool sustained 2nd rank sustained powers that we are going to want to have access to. If we don't, maybe we'll add in a reaction or some more feats. Let's take a look. And again, you guys can read along with this if you go to my Patreon at Phil Kearney and checking the about. There'll be a link to this read-only document. It's read-only, but you can build a character using this stuff anywhere from level 1 to 20 right now and put in your game. I'll probably be playtesting this stuff on a Monday or a Thursday night. Once the Spelljammer book is published, I'll have space. I'll move Eberron forward in the rack to Monday through Friday mornings. And that'll free up my Monday and Thursday night design space that we normally do Eberron stuff. That spot will be open. We'll probably do we'll still have martial powers on Tuesday. But either Monday or Thursday, I'll be able to allocate to doing playtest stuff with people. Whoever gives a shit. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully in mid-August, we'll start having a conversation about playtesting martial power stuff. And it'll just be random progressive dungeon shit. It'll just be dungeon crawls, like first to 5th level dungeon crawls, and just some lighthearted, meaningless adventure crap. So we'll see how it goes. But let's see. We're looking at 2nd rank powers here. We don't want unnatural resistance because that's going to stomp on the bear too much. Weapon resistances also don't need that. Sturdy. Gain advantage on Constitution and Strength checks. Not specific, like an elk isn't sturdy. A bear is, sure. Strange metabolism. Nope. Quick. No. Opportunist. None of these things are lining up specifically with... None of these things say totem to me. Deadly Presence. When it's sustained power, you're not restrained, stunned, paralyzed, or incapacitated. Any creature that you can see that begins its turn or moves within reach of your melee weapon, your melee attack gains 1 power die of damage per mana sustained. Wow. 1 power die of damage per mana sustained. That is just some awesome Spirit Guardian type effect. Scales differently, but still good. Mind Sense. While sustaining this power, you can sense the location of communicating. No, that's not appropriate. No. Close quarter combat. While this power is sustained, all melee attacks you get. That'd be great for a bear, but like for an eagle, not so much. So we'll leave that be. Like you could lean into that really easily. Like there's stuff that you could lean into, like really get that totem feel. Like for a bear, like close quarter combat, opportunist, all that stuff is like really good, tanky shit. That would work really well. But for just like a universal generic totem type of barbarian, like any totem will do, not appropriate. Castigate, what does that do? You channel this power, choose a creature you can see. You always know it's, you know which direction. That's a real good bounty hunter type thing. In addition, you make melee attack against the chosen creature. You deal 1 additional power die of damage. I love that. Auto attunement. God, castigation is nah, not quite. Okay, so let's skip that. Let's see. Is there any specific? There wasn't any specific feats that I saw down here that really jumped out at me. Keen Mind. Piercer, Poisoner. Let's look at Savage Attacker. Because that might be legit. Once per turn, when you roll damage for a melee weapon attack, you can re-roll the weapon's damage dice. Okay, I'll take that. That's actually really freaking cool. Savage. Yeah, that's actually really, really good for what we're doing here. Rerolling your damage, thank you. That would also, by the way, that automatically means that you can reroll your power dice with it. So if you're throwing like 4 mana to do like an extra 48 damage with your attack, cheers, man. Go ahead and reroll if you don't like the result. So that resolves that. And we didn't like any of the sustained powers. So let's go take a look at our reactions. Reactions sound just like it sounds. Reactions are when a triggering condition happens, you spend the mana and you do the thing. So this is our first reaction. So let's lean into low costs and start with 1 and see if we can find something that feels right before we move into the second rank powers, which will cost 2 mana. So controlled fall, some of them yes, others no. Curse of Exposure, your reaction to a creature within 30 feet taking damage. The creature is resistant to the damage. If it's resistant to the damage, it can't benefit from resistance. Alternatively, if it is immune, it is instead only resistant. Cool, but not the right flavor. You could always just learn that yourself if you wanted. Downtrodden, as a reaction to an enemy you can see within range of the weapon attack, becoming prone, you can make an opportunity attack and add 1 power die to the damage roll. No, that's not totem specific. What else? Interpose, Iron Will. Great Fortitude? No, because like an eagle doesn't have Great Fortitude. Lightning Reflexes. No. Punish. As a reaction to when an enemy you can see within range of your weapon attack misses an attack roll against you or an ally, you can make an opportunity attack, adding 1 power die to the attack roll. Nah. Okay, so none of those reactions seem specifically good for a totem ranger. So let's look at second rank before moving on to another discipline. Curse of the Fallen Puppets. No, because you're animating the dead. That is definitely not the right thing here. Moving target. As reaction to when a creature you can see moves while within reach of your melee attack. Nah. One's Own Luck. As a reaction to rolling 1 or more power dice, you can re-roll any number of dice and take the higher result. Nah, that's not very totemy. Opt. As a reaction to rolling an ability check, but before determining the success, you can. I mean, these are like meta powers. They're by nature void of flavor. They're there for you as a player to manipulate your dice pool at the cost of learning them. So let's see. Stolen Fate, also no. Okay, so it turns out none of these reactions are good. Strikes. Let's see. I mean, any of these strikes could work. But none of them feel particularly totemy. So that's gonna be a blunt no on the strikes at 5th level. Reactions were a no. Let's look at maneuvers. Let's see if there's anything here that's grabbing our attention. Make an attack with a weapon you're holding. Bonus action. Bonus attack? Meh. I mean, as a default, we can do that. You always do bonus attack. But you may as well dual wield. I mean, you wouldn't be able to do well with a two-handed weapon. So cheers to that. Coordinated attack. That's like a wolf tactic sort of thing. Not necessarily the flavor that I want for a Totem Barbarian. Maneuvers can be done as actions or bonus actions. You could do the same one twice in the same round if you wanted to. Like, there's no reason for you to make an attack with a weapon you're holding as a standard action because you automatically get one attack per round. So that would be a bonus action. But it doesn't. But like the coordinated attack, you can empower a target ally within 30 feet to use their reaction to make an attack, rolling 1 power die per mana channel, adding the highest result to the ally's attack against the target you and your ally. Like, you could take your action and your bonus action to coordinate 2 attacks. If you only have 1 attack, that's actually not that bad for a commander type character because you can de-emphasize your own abilities and you can up what other characters are, especially if they're using powers, which they also be able, like, you could coordinate your fighter to then use strike powers or maneuver themselves to be able to affect things, as well as, like, say, another character that's a barbarian or whatever. Anyway, really good for rogues because they can use sneak attack not during their turn. So, but that's a commander, not necessarily a totem barbarian. Curse of the Eyeless. You curse a creature you can see to reduce the resistance, to reduce the result of all. Nah, that's not very totemy. Muddled Mind, not totemy. Vanish, become invisible. Restraining hold only. Rally, you or an ally you can see within 30 feet gains a number of temporary hit points equal to the total of 1 power die roll for each point of mana burned. Stabilize a dying creature. That's almost totemy. Let's see what else we got. Generation, shoplift. Nope, none of these are really hitting the mark. All right, I'm being very picky on purpose. So let's see if my discernment rewards us here all the way down in exploits. Exploits modify dice. So like if you're making an attack roll or if you're making an ability check or a saving throw, you would be able to spend the mana to affect that die roll while you're making the roll. It doesn't even. It's not a reaction. It's not a bonus action. It is a instantaneous effect. Ambush when making an ability. Bears aren't known for their ambushing capabilities. Field medic gives artisan, ground fighting, commanding presence. Let's see if there's anything here that just really just. Investigation, nature, survival. Natural hunter might just end up being where we're at. I'm okay with that, actually. Resilient, subtle channeling, swift tools. Veterinary training, okay. Animal handling, medicine, okay. Veterinary training. I think that's where we're landing at. What do you guys say? I don't know if anyone's here or not, but if there is, what would you say? Veterinary training or natural hunter? Natural hunter allows you to roll additional dice for investigation, nature, and survival checks, while Veterinary training lets you roll additional dice to increase the results of animal handling, medicine, and survival skills. I mean, veterinary training, it's in the name, so that's kind of where I'm going after it there, but natural hunter feels kind of on point there. I don't know if I'm talking to a crowd of nobody or not, honestly. One watching now. Okay, well, apparently I'm the only one watching. So, I guess it's up to me then. Cheers. Let's see. We'll go with Natural Hunter. Hey, what's up, Hornetico? Glad to have you here. Vet training sounds interesting, but for narrative vibe, yeah. Glad to have you here, man. Thanks a lot. Natural Hunter. X1. Yeah, vet does sound interesting. Some sort of healer class or something, maybe. Okay. Let's see. Thanks for the input, man. Glad we agree. 9th level, 3rd rank. Using a D8 now. You'll have a total of 10 known powers. Oh my god. That's a lot of fucking power, man. But we only have 9 mana. And again, with the features of the Barbarian, just to recap for folks that are uninitiated, we modify Barbarian that you have Empowering Rest, which is when you spin hit dice to heal damage during a short rest. You can also regain a number of spent fury equal to the number of dice spent up to your Barbarian level. So at 9th level, you'd have 9 hit dice. If you spend all 9 of your hit dice during a rest, if you were missing, like if your mana was empty, those 9 hit dice would then add 9 mana on top of giving you hit points back. Nope, whatever. I don't know why YouTube does what it does. One watching now. I don't know. Maybe because this is not refreshed. Nope. Interesting. How? Whatever. Probably not important. 3rd level. Hey, okay, let's go. We start with our sustained powers, and then we work our way forward. So let's see if there's any cool 3rd rank sustained powers that hit the mark. And if not, we'll probably end up going, well, we'll see what we see. So let's see. Let's see what we do see. Daunting Presence, Flurry Attack. So I was saying, no, I wasn't. Let's see. 3rd rank, Daunting Presence, while sustaining its power, attack rolls against you are made with this. That doesn't hit me as totem. Looking for totem shit. Totem. Giant Growth is tempting, but isn't specifically like an elk isn't going to be Giant Growth. You know, that doesn't make any sense. Haste, not specifically. Ghostwalker, boy, there really aren't a lot of 3rd rank powers that are sustained. I'm okay with that. Okay, yeah, none of those hit the mark. So let's backtrack. Again, we're looking for shit that's iconic to the idea of a Totem Ranger. Not necessarily like this is a great pick. Because you have 10 powers you can choose yourself. Like if you want Stunning Strike for 3 mana, go ahead and learn it. That's up to you. You can have that. But it's not like specific, like none of these things are particularly iconic to the idea of a totem. You know? So it doesn't seem like... Yeah, none of the strikes are specifically on point. This is a really interesting build. Because of that narrative limitation for the Ludos. Anchoring is not on point. Countering attack, no. Defense barrier, no. And we've already looked through the 2nd rank stuff before, so none of these reactions are really hitting the mark. So let's go to our maneuvers and see if something's... Okay, here's a really good point that we had made about double strike here. Hold on, let's go back to our reactions. Or I mean our sustained stuff. Flurry attack. Oh, okay, there we go. While sustaining this power, you can make a bonus action. You can use a bonus action, including the bonus action used to sustain flurry attack, to make 2 weapon attacks. That's something that the monk gets for free using this system. You can either spend 1 point to make a flurry attack. The monk can do it cheap. The monk only has to spend 1 point to make a single weapon, a single flurry attack. But they can also spend 1 mana to and lock it to be able to permanently have flurry of blows. For that, but that's the monk specifically. This gives you access to that for a very expensive price tag of 3 mana. You have to lock all 3 of your channels to be able to have this as an ongoing bonus attack feature. However, in the maneuvers section, we were talking about how maneuvers can be either actions or reactions. Actions or bonus actions, right? So it's expensive as hell. However, you could do it. So like a rogue would normally have only 1 attack per round, right? It would be expensive to use, but if used, you could do double strike. So you could use double strike as an action. You could also use double strike as a bonus action. It'd cost you 6 mana to do it that round, but you'd get 4 attacks with advantage. So your rogue would definitely be able to pour in some some multi-attack. Definitely is going to hit for that sneak attack. But it's not appropriate for our totem. Flicker Pounce, definitely not. Wave of Terror, no. Okay, none of these are appropriate. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's see. This is the most difficult one we've ever made, man. Powered Synergy. When you use a bonus action to channel a maneuver, you can make a weapon attack as part of the bonus action. Hit that timer. You use a bonus action. 1, 2. You know, the more I keep looking at Empowered Synergy, the more it feels like that's an exploit because it's modifying how you use your bonus action. Yeah, I think that should be an exploit. It is an exploit. All right, shut up. When you make an opportunity attack, you can attack the same creature twice. I fucking love that. My God, it's so expensive, but it's super fun. That is a great rogue power to pick up, by the way. Let's see. Okay, well, let's see what else is in here. Well, I guess this is taking us to veterinary training. It's come to that. Oh my God. Worst kit ever. This stuff is legit just the worst. Let's see. What else do we have in here? Unnerving Focus. When you make an ability check that uses the Intimidation skill or when rolling to determine if you can maintain concentration, roll 1 power die per mana channel, adding the result to the highest roll to the results. Ride the Wind. Precise attack, phase attack, cooperative effort, veterinary training, unnerve focus. Resilience. When you make a saving throw, you can roll 1 power die per mana channeled. Yeah, I like Resilient. I like Resilient. Ability checking is a stealth skill when rolling initiative. Wow. We're scraping the barrel now, dudes. All right. What a bargain barrel character. It has so much stuff going on with the different totems that it just eats up so much design space between those options. Really just trying to limit myself to be non-creature folk. I mean, there's a ton of stuff here that makes sense for eagle, ton of stuff here that makes sense for wolf, for like elk. All of them make a shitload of sense. But I don't want to make a separate kit for each totem because you don't have to dedicate yourself to just one single totem. You can pick any type of totem each level that you want at 3, 6, and 14. So I don't want to completely rebuild the class because everything in it is good. It's just finding stuff that's like ultra generic to the point it's like, yeah, I can see a totem is taking that. Blah. So we're gonna have to start diving into more esoteric stuff. Esoteric, whatever. So 13th level, that grants us access to 4th rank powers. 4th rank is the highest rank of power that exists. That means that your character can play with all the tools in the toolbox starting at 13th level, but you don't have a ton of mana to play with at all. So these things are super expensive. But they are what you would say is like clutch shit. So we always go down into our sustained powers first to see what cool things we may find. And I've specifically been ignoring damage, like modified damage types, because again, the breadth of different types of creatures that you can choose as your totem animal, it's too broad to pigeonhole into anything specific. So fun challenge though. Very fun challenge. I'm liking feeling the limitations of the system because it doesn't feel limited. It's an interesting design challenge. Got to step up. Yeah, right on, guy. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. So let's see. 4th rank. Frenzied attack. While sustaining this power, you gain 1 additional attack when you take the attack action and gain advantage on all attack rolls. It's so insane. It's so expensive. God, it's so expensive. Like, you could do this or something else. No, I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna end up down in exploits again. I can see it. Banishing strike. None of that says totem to me. Rite of Revival. As a reaction to when you drop to 0 hit points but don't die outright, you remain conscious. And nah, that's not specifically totemy. No. Maneuvers, not specifically. Back to the exploits. Unstoppable. When an effect or condition other than incapacitated or death, it reduces your movement to 0. You can, no, that's like the Juggernaut, baby. But enemy is within range of a weapon attack, make an attack roll against that enemy instead. First strike is awesome. We're really scraping the arrow now, man. Swift tools, subtle channeling, sage knowledge, resilient. We already picked up resilient. That's how hard we're scraping now. Charge. Already gains a charge ability. Extended attack when making a melee attack. God. So, okay, let's go back up to feats. See if there's a freebie feat that we want. Oh my God, it's that bad. That's as bad as we're doing here. We're desperately trying to find 4 abilities that make sense, and we're having a hard time. I don't think out of 140 powers, I don't feel like it's because we have a gap in the system. I just think that the Totem Barbarian covers so much ground. Oh, inspired skill. That's a good one. Fast is pretty good too. While sustaining this power, you gain proficiency in a skill or tool of your choice. You can channel this power more than once simultaneously, choosing a different skill or tool. We can take resilient, and we can push it to 13th. Dire impact. That's actually pretty good. Well done. Fast isn't bad. I mean, it's super generic, but it's not bad. Inspired skill, not horrible. Also super vague and not specific, but fast. Increased moving speed, proficiency bonus times 10. Oh my God, that's a really, really good. But again, it locks down your shit. So let's go with, yeah, why not? Let's go with fast. You probably wouldn't take it otherwise. Sus 1. It's useful when you need to turn it on. But you'd never probably take it. Their impact, veterinarian training, savage attacker. Dire impact should come in at 2nd level. It's too good. At 5th, I mean, it's an early level sustained power. And it's super juicy. So let's fix that. There we go. Sustained, sustained, sustained. It's all such cheap stuff, but you can pump them up. You can pump them up. You can dump in as many dice as you want into resilient or veterinary training. You can the more mana you spend, the more dice you roll, but you only take the best results. So after 2 or 3 mana, it kind of curves out. You're not really gaining like the return of investment becomes significantly lower at that point. But you can still do it. So resilient. All right, let's. We already have the full spread of stuff, so let's take a look. Let's swap dire impact and lycanthropy. 17th. All right. Top of the tier. Let's see if there's any feats that we missed before that suddenly look really cool. Skilled. Okay, let's take a look at skilled and maybe low-hanging fruit that we just simply missed. Skilled feat. All right. Well, I mean, yeah. I guess there's that. That was not a new feat. That actually exists in the game. We'll take Cannibalize Power as a feat. Cannibalize Power allows us to use a D12 instead of a D10 if we choose for our hit dice. Wait, doesn't Fighter Initiate do that? Sounds redundant. Hold on. One fighting style option of your choice from the fighter class if you already have a style. Yeah, we don't need that. Fighting style already exists. It just had it. I don't know why I thought that was new. Is there a damage type? Possibly makes any sense. No. All right. Don't need cannibalizing power because we already have. We don't have anything that's above first rank. Literally don't have anything above first rank. There. Let's go look at our sustained power. Let's go look at exploits again. Just second rank exploits. Let's see. Resilient is a second rank exploit. Thank you. There we go. Efficient power. Efficient power lets us drop the mana cost and rank of a power by 1. And since Resilient is our only second rank exploit that we have, using efficient power to drop 1 is a way to cheat in an extra feature. So, congratulations to us. We finished Totem Warrior. God, that was tough. This has been by far the toughest one to build because of the restraints that we placed on ourselves. Satisfying, though. It was very satisfying. So, what else we got on tap? we were going to build the rogue. That's right. So let's go down to the rogue. Let's build the thief. Inspired by the Dungeon Delver. Okay, cool. So we'll do the same process here. We can select all, delete, and then we go back into here. Let's go back to the top. Let's pick out Rogue. I'll drop down here to Thief. Is that one word? Soul Knife, Scout, Phantom. Oh, we already did the Scout. No, wait. Yep, we already did the Scout. Oh my god, is Soul Knife and... Did we do the Phantom already? Oh yeah, we did. We'll have to come back and redo this because we're not using the same... Yeah. We need to work on the Phantom again. Assassin. Surely there's something between Assassin, Inquisitive, and Mastermind. Thank you. Mastermind is going to be fun. Mastermind. Inquisitive. Assassin. Inquisitive. We specifically skipped the Arcane Trickster because it's handled above already. Inquisitive. Mastermind. Phantom. Swashbuckler. Scout. That's what we were supposed to do. Swashbuckler. Scout. Soul Knife. Swashbuckler. Swashbuckler. All right, Thief. So let's go down to Thief. That's where we're at. Thief. We're going to grab up all these bits. Copy. Paste them into here. And then get ready for this guy. Where is it? Gimela. Right on. Okay, dude. Whatever. Let's get back up into... Here we go. This'll do. Thank you. Fast hands. There. Second story work. Third. And then Supreme Sneak. which is 9th. Use magical. I think it's magic. No, use magic device. Okay. 13th. And then Thief's Reflexes. Was that 17th? Yeah. Okay, fast hands. Fast hands. Fast hands. Starting at 3rd level, you can use the bonus action granted by your cunning action to make a dexterity sleight of hand check. Use your thieves' tools to disarm a trap, or open a lock, or take the use an object action. But not a magic item. Okay, no changes needed there. Second story work. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you gain the ability to climb faster than normal. Climbing no longer costs you extra movement. Okay. Supreme Sneak. In addition, when you make a running jump, the distance you cover increases by a number of feet equal to your dexterity modifier. Okay. Supreme Sneak. Starting at 9th level, you have advantage on dexterity stealth checks if you move no more than half your speed on the same turn. You need to get rid of that. Use magic device. At 13th level, you have learned enough about the workings of magic that you can improvise the use of items even when they are not intended for you. You ignore all class, race, and level requirements on the use of magic items. Okay, no need to change that. When you reach 17th level, you have become adept at laying ambushes and quickly escaping danger. You can take 2 turns during the first round of any combat. You take your first turn at your normal initiative and your second turn at your initiative minus 10. You can't use this feature when you are surprised. By God, that's a great feature. Yeah, none of this stuff needs to change. So all of it is solid. And I think there's going to be a ton of cool crap for us to grab into here. So, shifting my seat. Legitimately excited about building this kit. So, we should be able to have the full gamut on stuff here. It should be much more interesting. Let's see. Thief. I'm going to keep track of this. Beep. Good. Now let's check out our powers. First rank. Aw, first rank. First rank. Second story work. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you gain the ability to climb faster than normal. Climbing no longer costs you extra movement. So, Cliff Runner, you gain climb speed equal to your walking speed, and you can climb this way without using your hands. That completely overrides second story work. Except for the running long jump. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you gain the ability to climb faster than normal. Climbing no longer costs you extra movement. In addition, yeah, we can skip that. We're going to skip it because it's already pretty good. Crouching stance. When you channel this power, you gain the following abilities. You can crawl and stand from prone without requiring additional movement. We picked this up for the scout. Attack rolls made against you while prone by creatures within 5 feet don't have advantage. Attack rolls you make while prone don't have disadvantage, and you gain advantage on dexterity stealth checks while prone. Crouching stance is pretty damn good, just in general. But let's go down and look at Trap Springer. While this ability is sustained, gain advantage on any intelligence, investigation, and wisdom perception checks to know its traps. You automatically understand the general nature of any trap revealed this way, and you gain advantage on intelligence and dexterity checks using tools you're proficient with to disarm traps. Let's look at... starting at 3rd level, you can use the bonus action granted by your cunning action to make a dexterity sleight of hand check. Use your thieves tools to disarm a trap or open a lock, or take the... Oh, that's actually really freaking good. So, Trap Springer, really, really good. And Supreme Sneak works well with Crouching Stance. So we'll probably take those things. Yeah, that's really good. So Trap Springer. There we go. Trap Springer. Wow, what a really, really good set. So 2nd rank. Let's see what else we got going on. Astute. When sustaining this power, you gain advantage on intelligence and wisdom checks. God, that's really good. Auto attunement. While sustaining this power, you are attuned to any magic item you can hold in one hand. That is such a great power. Auto attunement. Auto attunement. That's such. Oh, that's 2nd rank. So that's 2. It's such a good power. It makes such great sense with the thief because of their ability to override override. The word I'm looking for is you can pretend to be other features. You can pretend to be something else. While sustaining this power, you are attuned to any magic item. Any magic item you can use that. It's too good. So let's nerf that down. Honestly, that's too good for a second. That you... Any magic item that you qualify to use. Requisites. To use, period. Hey, welcome back, Horde. Oh, another go. Astute. While sustaining this power, you gain advantage. Oh, Astute's really good. We're working on the Thief now. Deadly Presence, Mind Sense, Opportunist. Jeez, Mind Sense. Mind Sense is going to go with the Inquisitive really well, or the Soul Knife. Let's see. You are attuned to any magic item that you can wear or hold that you're wearing or holding that you meet the prerequisites to use. There we go. That's good language. Let's see. Oh, that's right. We're actually technically 5th level. We're looking for 2nd rank stuff. So let's see. Oh, that's right. We wanted to pick up Beep, 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 beep. Crouching stance. We wanted to pick up crouching stance when? Honestly, crouching stance is a good one to pick up at any time. So, oh wait. These reflexes. No, wait. Starting at 3rd level, you can use this bonus action granted to make a dexterity sleight of hand check, use a thieves tool, traps, use objects, running jump, 5th rank, crouching stance. Yeah. 5th level crouching stance. Good. Crouching stance. Sus 1. Super good. When you channel this power, you gain the following abilities. You can crawl and stand from prone without requiring additional movement. Attack rolls made against you while prone by creatures within 5 feet of you do not have advantage. Attack rolls you make while prone don't have disadvantage. And you gain advantage on dexterity stealth checks while prone. Super freaking useful. Super flavorful, too, for the thief. If I don't mind saying so myself. Let's see if there's any feats down here that we like. We already grabbed Dungeon Delver. Fire initiative. Let's just take skill. How about that? Just here, have a batch of skills. That seems super useful. 9th level, 3rd rank. Ghostwalker for the Phantom was super fun. Haste for the thief, kind of. I'm haste? Maybe. I'm maybe on haste. God, Astute's really good, though. I mean, it's just good. Swift Assessment. You can add your proficiency bonus when making an ability check that can use the Perception or Insight skill. If you are already proficient with either skill, you instead add the bonus twice as though you have expertise in these skills. That's Jeez, that's super good for a thief in general. You already have Rogue Stance, which gives you basically cunning action. Omnilinquist. Nah, that's a pretty good Soul Knife ability though, because of the psionic stuff. Inspired Skill. While sustaining this power, you gain proficiency in a skill or weapon of choice, or tool of your choice. You can channel this power more than once simultaneously, choosing a different skill or tool with each channeling. Science, it's good. I'm going to go with Blinding Strike. Your weapon can deal radiant damage and add 1 power die per mana burned. In addition, the creature is blinded. The creature can attempt to end this effect. That feels like a rogue sort of thing to do. So let's go with Blinding Strike. As a reaction to rolling an ability check, but before determining success, you can re-roll the d20 and take the higher result. So Opt is pretty good. One Zone Look. As a reaction to rolling 1 or more power dice, you can re-roll any number of dice and take the higher result, which is kind of like Opt. It's kind of a cheat to have those separately. Oh no, that's for any power dice, while opt is specifically for an ability check. That should be a first rank power, honestly. Opt, yeah. Don't know why I was making that one so expensive. Evasive footwork. As a reaction to when you are hit by an attack roll from a source you can see, you gain +5 bonus to AC that remains in effect until the beginning of... It's basically a shield. Including attacks that trigger, potentially turning the attack hit into a miss. It's low-hanging fruit. Ooh, controlled fall. That's a pretty good one. As a reaction to falling, you can land on your feet instead of prone and reduce the damage taken by 10 times your proficiency bonus. We're at 4th rank? Yeah. None of these are really hitting the mark for thief stuff here. Without getting like supernatural about it, you know, like the phantom having phase makes a lot of sense. Hey, timely timer, keep it going. Distract. Curse in the Muddled Mind, coordinated dash. Nah, I think I'm good there. First strike. When you roll initiative, if the enemy is within range, if the enemy is within range of your weapon attack, make an attack roll against that enemy instead. First strike is good, but it doesn't say thief specifically. Swift attunement. Use an object interaction to attune to a magic item you're holding. But we already have the sustained power, right? Where is it? Swift attunement. Why do we have this here twice? No, that's what's assessment. Auto attunement. Any magic item you're wearing or holding that you meet the prerequisites to use. I think we found a redundancy. That's why we go through this process of checking stuff over and over and over and over again to find little things. Where'd it go? Swift attunement, right? And that should technically be, that's not an exploit, to be honest. Oh, I see. To use an object interaction, you can use an object to attune to an item as opposed to the sustain power, which ends the attunement when you're done. But that should be a maneuver. That's not an exploit. Swift attunement, swift resuscitation. I'm good with that. Let's see. Well, let's look at exploits. Go back to the exploits. 4th rank or less. Assassination. We have the assassinate has that one. Unstoppable. Not specifically. Make an attack, roll with advantage, and roll 1 power die per mana channeled. Precise attack ain't bad. If using a tool you can hold in one hand without would normally require an action, you can instead use the tool as an object interaction. It kind of overrides the fast hands ability, so I'm going to skip that. Ooh, subtle channeling. When you channel a power, there's no visual evidence that you are the source of power. That is super useful for Thief. Arguably, you would gain it sooner, but... Nice. It's like still spell or silent spell, effectively. And you could gain it at any level that you want, but by 17th you get it for free. So that's cool. Wow, we did it. That's a fun little tool set there. I'm happy with that. And we've hit our hour and 45 minutes. Okay. So when we come back next time, I think when we come back next time, we're going to work specifically on Swashbuckler and Soul Knife, just to finish out the kit. I don't know, maybe we'll just stick with Barbarian and go from there. But anyway, this has been a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. Folks that are catching this in the future after the stream, thanks a lot for checking it out. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications when I'm doing stuff like this in the future. I'll be back again tomorrow morning to work on more page art for the Spelljammers Combat and Exploration supplement that we're building. I'll do that tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, Friday morning, Saturday morning. We'll do book cover art for Joseph Vargas's Reclamant RPG. And Thursday night, we'll be back doing cartography for Eberron, the adventure that we're building, Crystals of Mabar. That'll flesh out my week. And then Tuesday next week, and for the foreseeable future, we'll stick to that routine of Monday and Thursday nights being Eberron cartography. Once we finish the cartography, we'll get into token production. Monday through Friday morning, we do Spelljammer interior page art until that is done. Hopefully by mid-August, we'll be done with all that. And considering how much diagram stuff we get to do, that's actually pretty realistic. And I had a problem this morning with transparencies and images, but I figured out I had to use an image box instead of an object box. That fixed the problem, and we're back on using a PNG with a transparent background. Everything's working exactly the way I expected it to. So I don't know what happened there, but we're back on track with that. So, and then Saturday mornings we continue doing Reclamant art until that's done. And once it is, I've got another book cover lined up. I don't know all the specifics yet, but there's another commission that I picked up for a different book cover by Andy Headley, one of the co-writers of the Crystals of Mabar, and he does a lot of Call of Cthulhu and horror stuff, so I'm really looking forward to seeing the project that he has. He's working with Brian Holmes as the editor, so and I love working with Brian. He's a great guy. Great guys. God, such great guys. So I'm really looking forward to starting that up in Saturday, which should be probably early August. I reckon the Reclamant book cover will be done by the end of July. So I'm going to skip out for now. Thanks a lot for showing up, guys. And if you got any questions, be welcome to drop them in the comments down below, or tag me on Patreon if you want. Either way, see you guys soon. Thanks a lot.